in Lansing, Michigan. Okay. Thank you for this is my first time here.
I hate I had to bring you.
No.
You know, in the cold.
Yeah. It's about 19 right now.
Yeah. But it feels like 9.
Yeah, but it feels like success is going to happen this year. 2020, it's a lot of different things coming, on the horizon for you. First off, before we get into any of that, the one thing I admire about you is you're a family man first, God, family, and recently just watching you on Instagram, watching your movement, in 2019, I will always see you. And I would see the coach.
Oh, no doubt.
I would see you and I would see Dee. How is Dee doing?
The coach.
Yeah, the coach. That's the coach.
Question. Yeah, Phil Jackson. Phenomenal beyond expectation. And what's so crazy, man, we're a praying family. And not on some religious stuff. Like, we really believe there's a God, and a God who hears. And I remember when Dee was first diagnosed, it was it was tough, being with somebody. Dee was 15 years old when I married her. So, when I started dating her. So what's so crazy is when I see Dee, I still remember that girl, I still remember that little girl, you know what I'm saying? She had the Jerry curl, with the Michael Jackson Thriller jacket, and I would never have imagined when I was with Dee as a teenager that she'd have a chronic illness, and so it was painful in the beginning to see her like a baby. She only had enough energy really to, do maybe 2-3 hours of work. And I don't mean outside the house, but just, cleaning, cooking, whatever she was doing. Then she would eat and sleep like a baby. And I remember her taking that, Copaxone. It was like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And I remember when she stick herself the pain that she went through. And I remember praying, God help. This can't be for the rest of our lives. You know what I'm saying? And I just believe that this isn't until cripple or death, But Q, I'll be real. When I prayed, I thought, I don't know how to say it, but it's like, okay, she all the way down here in her health. Like, she probably I'm praying for at least she take an oral medicine or something, and she's probably 50%, 60% better. Bro, I got to tell you, unbelievable, man. This is unbelievable. It is almost as if Dee doesn't have MS anymore.
Yeah, I saw Dee a couple of weeks ago. Yeah. I was like, she coaching, I'm ready to eat. She was ready to go.
Yeah.
Energy.
Yeah, energy. Too much energy. Now, This is when I knew she was making a comeback. About a year ago, when she got on a different medication, she went to Macy's and was there for 4 or 5 hours straight. And I was tired.
Yeah, okay.
I was like, okay, maybe I'm back. Welcome back, Card. Welcome back. But she's back. First lady, strong. And Dee's the one that just the other day a young lady was redoing her crib, and Dee went to Lowe's, Menards, trying to find her a sink, like that kind of back. Shopping, helping, the less fortunate, whatever. And then with the company, she's taking the grind gear side and really just bringing that back to life. So it is super fun traveling with her, super fun living, our best life together. Not, it's tough, Q. Let's just be real, bro. I have a very successful marriage, but, I had to put in some work. I put up a post the other day to say when I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, thought as a child when I became a man. So I wasn't this version of myself, in the, what I'm saying? We got married at 19. So I had some growing to do. And to still be together, it ain't easy staying together. Bump happy, just staying together. And so to do the traveling with her, my daughter's about to graduate, doing that with her. Jay's about to get married, doing that together. Working out. Okay, we got this. We got to buy this. How we gonna dress? We doing our little dance routine, getting ready. So just doing life with her right now at 120%. Is phenomenal. I never thought, I knew we would do life together, but maybe at 80. My prayer was maybe we can get her back to 75, 80. Now God has taken her probably to a level that she wasn't at before because she worked a job. Now she's back 120 and doing it for our legacy. So it's a beautiful time, man. It's a beautiful time.
You know what? I've always wanted to ask you with your children.
Yeah.
you thrust them in the middle of, of the world. And some things we know about your children through, your speaking. How happy are you with the development of your children, and how have they been able to take your success and use it for future generations of the Thomas family?
Bug was pissed with the whole coming up, and he got to hear himself on the mixtape. His boys, your dad talk about podcast, preach like that. But I think, Q, I've always known you're going to be great and you're going to be in the world. Why wait? I look at Warren Buffett, and I think he said maybe when he was 12, his father gave him his first, whatever investment and told him, go do your thing. And we look at where Warren Buffett is today as a result of his father saying, hey, he didn't wait until he felt he was mature enough. He like, yo, you 12, let's get going. And so I've always felt like I don't want my children to depend on my legacy. I want them to build their own, which is why a lot of people was like, yo, why not EJ? And I was like, no, I don't want Eric. I want Jalen to have his own identity, to be his own person. You know what I'm saying? And so I put him out there. It was like, yo, let's test the waters now. Like, I want you to know what it feels like. I want you to know what it's like to be in the spotlight. I want you to know what it's like, people to know your name. But more importantly, I want you to learn how to be responsible for stardom, be responsible for being, in the spotlight. And so Jalen's super proud, man. He went to Michigan State, incredible, accomplishment, and graduated in 4 years. I worked at Michigan State. When we do the graduation rates, we saying 6 years. We're not saying 4. Was fortunate to work with Michigan State basketball as a general manager, sitting under Coach Izzo for 4 years. He's experienced the Final Four and Elite Eight. Not many people can say that, traveled the world, again, with a Hall of Fame coach and coaching staff. OG, which is one of the coaches, used to treat Jalen like a son. And he was like me, remembering the past of our ancestors, pushing Boog. So Boog wasn't just pushed by me, CJ, just this community. And to see Jalen's growth in the last year and a half is unbelievable. He always be like, Dad, you always talking about me. I'm like, yo, I talk positive about you, not with you, because I don't want you to get comfortable. So he's going to see this. But when you say a proud father, proud, but like he knows with Coach Izzo, I still push him. And he's got so much potential, and I want to see all that in my lifetime, So it's just been phenomenal, man, to see his growth. He's stepping into later this year into marriage, and I don't want to, do him like that. So I'm saying he is engaged, and he'll tell me the time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, he'll give me the time frame, but matured, man, and handling his business. He's taking a part of the company and said, Dad, I got this part. Like, you ain't got to worry about this. I got this. So with the disc assessment, he's doing that sports, D1, football, basketball, et cetera, helping me with some of my NBA, NFL clients. So he's doing phenomenal. My baby girl, that's the apple of my eye, man. I tell people I was surrounded by females. My grandma had 14 kids, 11 were females. And then both of my grandmothers were in my life from birth. So I always wanted a girl, and I got her. And Jada is a beast. Jalen is going to do his thing. And, it reminds me of Venus and Serena. Like, when you see Venus, it's like, yo, Venus gonna kill it. And then it's like, and Serena gonna kill it too. And I look at Jada, and Jalen's like, Dad, I don't want to be a speaker, whatever. I'm like, I feel you. But what I call boom boom is like, she has, man, when she get that mic and she gets with people one-on-one, it's unbelievable. So I'm proud of both of them. She's finishing Michigan State herself. I think that's what I'm most proud of. Both of my babies and myself, we both graduated all of us from Michigan State. And we created a legacy. My father, unfortunately, was a high school dropout. I dropped out. My grandfather dropped out. But we were able to create a new legacy, and that is, I finished at Michigan State. My son, now my daughter, is about to pull up the rear, man. So super proud of both of them. Not just what they do right, but I'm super proud of the challenges that they have and how they get through it. You got a lot of kids in this generation committing suicide or attempting suicide or, you know, just giving up, man, getting on drugs and different things. And I'm proud of Jalen, you know, has had whatever his challenges are academically, you know, whatever, you know, decisions, but he has used them to iron, sharpen iron, and go to another level. I looked at Jada. Now, she won't tell me when she dating and all of that, you know, but mom, like, I can't give you all the info, you know what I'm saying? But mom is like, yo, she's effectively handling those challenges and becoming more of a woman. So I couldn't be more proud of, you know, of both of them. And Didi has done a phenomenal job as a mom. She say, I helicopter, you know what I'm saying? But Didi coaches them like I think she's a little soft on Jalen than she is on me and Jada.
Yeah.
But man, super proud of Didi and super proud of my kids. And I just want to be one of those guys when I die, while they build on the legacy, they're not living off the legacy, but they're building on it and making sure that each generation does its part to, you know, to be a service to humanity.
Got you. And, you know, speaking of, you know, legacy and building on a legacy, 2020 is a new year. You're entering into a new chapter, a new challenge for yourself. You have an announcement you want to make. Can you break it down to us? Like, people want to know, like, Q, you're here in Lansing at the office.
Yeah, at the office.
What do you have to tell the people?
Man, you know, good news, bad news. You know, the good news is that the world has embraced me and, you know, embraced my message. And over the years, of course, I went from, you know, doing schools to NFL, NBA, corporate, you know, et cetera. And it's been, man, a phenomenal experience. I've grown to be in an industry with the Les Browns, you know, the late, great Zig Ziglars, the Tony Robbins, you know, Grant Cardone, Gary Vee. You know, you know, those are heavyweights. And to be able to get, I feel like Muhammad Ali when he was with Frazier and Spinks and, you know, all of them. And while it's been a great run, man, I am spending, you know, the rest of 2020 and probably the rest of my life, you know, with schools, man. I'm coming out of corporate work. Okay. You know, I'm coming out of that keynote, you know, going to Vegas, Orlando, and
but no, come on.
Yeah.
So you're saying to us now, because, you know, we see the videos that if I'm, you know, a person not of school age, I want to see ET. I can't come to a conference. I can't see you anymore.
Yeah. So what we're saying is, you know, there's some commitments we made in 2019, and so I think it's about 20 corporate gigs, a couple conferences, but moving in the middle of 2020 and then beyond. Yeah, our focus is just schools.
Really?
You know, it's been real, man. It's been fun. You know, we have made a lot of impact, influence, made a lot of money. You know, we're going to keep, YouTube, Instagram, we're going to keep spreading that love. But moving forward, I got to do, you know, it's like, Q, when you know this, it's like you have these goals. And when you hit them, it's like, what's next? And it's like, yo, I did NFL, I did NBA. You know, I've done corporate. But what my heart was always with schools, but it was like the resources weren't there. But because of CJ, now we're doing the solar, now we're doing the real estate, and we have other ways to, you know, make money. It's like, what would you do? It was funny. I just heard God say, like, what would you do if you didn't have to work? Like, if you didn't, what would you do? And I'm like, you know what I would do? What I was doing in the beginning, schools. And I just heard God say, I want you to go back. That's where Pastor Willis saved you, got you off the streets, helped you to get your GED. He sent you to Oakwood. Like, yo, go back to your first love. You know, go back to your first. And I'm not saying I didn't like corporate, but corporate wasn't my first love. You know, doing basketball, football, I love it. That wasn't my first love. My first love was the classroom. Like, my degrees are in education. Like, I was in the schools every day, K through 12. You know, I did middle school. I did high school. Then I did Michigan State, which I loved. Seeing the babies every day, helping them, you know, with their schedules, and taught a couple leadership courses, orientation. Like, I love being in the classroom. Like I said, the flying and the preparation, I don't necessarily love all of that about the work. Corporate, while I love corporate, there were some aspects I didn't love. Schools, I love every nook and cranny, every cookie, every crumb. And so I'm stepping away from corporate work, and I'm about to step into schools. And so if you're out there and you're at school somewhere, we're going to put up a link or something where you can say, ET, we want you to come to our school. But yeah, man, I'm going to spend the rest of my life building the educational system because I feel like it's a gap.
Yeah.
And I have what it takes in my team to fill that gap.
Yeah, that is very commendable. Who do you talk to? And, God talks to you and you make this decision. Walk us through the process of God talks to you and then you're making this final decision. How does that happen? Because a lot of times people don't see, they just hear the announcement and then that's it. Walk us through that.
Well, first CJ, and saying to CJ, who said to me, E, I know why you're doing what you're doing and I know your heart is in it, but I know I was with you in the beginning of this journey and I know your heart is with schools. And so C, I think, was the first one last year to say, I'm going to make a commitment to make you a billionaire. Because all I want you to do is what you want to do. I don't want you to do anything else. And so I think CJ initiated this whole idea by saying, okay, Josh, let's start working on the solar. Jamal, let's make real estate real. Like, E, we're going to make some, like, crazy, Q. Like, these boys showing me properties that I part own and how much money I have. I ain't put no money in I don't even know other than, the contract I signed and the bank account I got access to. I don't even know. I'm not a part of, and they're like, no, we serious. Like, we don't want you to ever have to work again to eat. We know what you do and what you're capable of. We just want you to run the world and do what you do. Go. And so I came to see in December 1st and said, I'm ready mentally and emotionally. I've got my wife is where she needs to be with her health. Jalen is killing the game, doing his thing. Jada is graduating. So I don't necessarily have to be in East Lansing anymore. Like, I don't have to worry about Jada, which I didn't have to worry about it, but you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's about to graduate, go to grad school. So it's like, Didi, our baby is grown. What do you want to do? And it's like, let's go change the world.
Wow.
So, and so then of course after that, you've got to talk to Nikki and Beast Mode Digital. What does that mean to them? Because they've got to prepare. Like, I didn't know. Nikki was like, Q got to do the announcement. I'm like, all right, the crew coming, we setting it up. I've got to talk to my educational department, let them know y'all been kind of like playing with it. But the book, You're Not the Boss of Me, which is the first book, Identity versus Role Confusion. Then the other 4 that complement the assessment. Like, now we're sitting down, the training manual. We're going through everything. All right, are we ready to launch January 1st? Yep, all the books are ready. We're ready to launch the assessment, the website, the landing page. We've got all our coaches. So when we certify the kids, they've got a coach they could talk to every day. So that's the group I got. And then, of course, the legal team. What are the legal ramifications of us going into schools? We got to get insurance, buy insurance. We've got to get with our educational lawyers now and talk about what does it mean. We got a group out of Cali, man. Those kids are traveling with me to do acting and, the whole nine, singing and performing. So it's like, what are the liabilities of that? Let's talk to their parents. So it's been about a 60 to a 90-day SWOTs analysis, and really planning for this thing. And we're here now, I guess, with the last piece is the announcement that's going to go out to the world.
Wow. Okay. So let us know about the book.
Yeah.
I've seen some of the testimonies testimonials from the kids, the students, I should say, and it's changed their life.
Yeah.
It's changed their life. It's been able to tell them their superpowers. That's what they kept saying over and over and over again. This book has helped me identify what my superpower is.
So for me, when I went to school, I'm just be real cute. Somebody dropped me off. Mom said, you're going to love it. I never loved it. Like, I never even knew where I was going, other than I knew it was illegal to drop out too early, So the book for me is going back to that 13-year-old who found out his father wasn't his biological father. And all of the emotional, and mental stuff that I was going through, and I was too young to process it on my own. And I ended up making some terrible decisions based on it. So this book was written for that 13-year-old when he found out this is not your real father. Like, this book was like, somebody should have told me this. Somebody should have told me what my strengths were and what my limitations were, because I didn't even know, being a people person, how that would devastate me, being that I needed affirmation and that I, needed to like almost be clingy with my mom. Like, I didn't know. So what the book shows you is read the book, and kids are like, yo, I'm Dave. Yo, like they're identifying with the character. Like, why? Because I've been in schools all my life, so I know what they're going through. So what the assessment allows me to do is see and then put it in character. So they're like, yo, that's me. I asked the question. Yo, that's me. I'm angry. Yo, that's me. You know, I don't have a lot of confidence. And so then after you read it and identify, you take the test. And once you take the test, you're like, bam, that's who I am. And then you immediately go through my online training series where you are very specific on, yo, that's my gift. And then I give you a list of careers and you like, yo, I want that career. And then boom, we pair you up with a coach that's like, yo, this is the SAT or the SAT score you're going to need. These are the courses you're going to have to take. These are the colleges that best fits it. These are the things, this is the language and the books and stuff you need to study so you're ready when you go to college. And then they get that one-on-one coach to kind of walk them through that process. So, bro, I'm just like, I wrote it and didn't know that the response was going to be like, but there's school districts all over like, yo, where's this book been? Yeah. My whole academic career. Then more importantly, it shows teachers who they are and their biases. And then the teachers get to see the other characters and go, I have only been teaching to this student. Now I have the tools and the resources to understand this student, and this student.
So this is a two-step process. This is, you're talking to the students so they can identify who they are. And then you're talking to the administrators so they can talk to, be able to communicate with the students.
Absolutely.
This is groundbreaking.
Yeah. And you know what's crazy? I never forget when I first said I wanted to win the Nobel Prize. And I only said it because I got my PhD and I was like, something's got to be next. Like if something has to be next. So when I said the Nobel Prize, my boy Mason West said, E, do you know what it takes to win a Nobel Prize? I was like, no, I never won one, never had nobody in my family. I just look up to Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa, Gandhi, and they have one. And so he said, no, you're going to get it, but do you know what it takes? And I was like, no. He was like, you have to disrupt something. And I was like, what does that mean, disrupt something? He's like, a system that's already in place that's not effective, you got to disrupt it. And I want you to think about which institution can you disrupt? And I was like, I already know, schools. Like, these kids are going to school every day, but there's no connection between my life and my learning. Like, what is math, science, social studies have to do with anything? And I want to be able to show them the connection. It has everything to do with life for you. You know, and he was like, that's it then. That's what you're going to disrupt, the school system. Now you have to put a plan together. It can't be just you being dynamic. You need a system, right? And I was like, oh, I got it. I'll come in and speak, train speakers, dynamic. But with the assessment, you'll be able to measure who you are, where you are. And then after that, it'll give you a system on what the next steps are. Wow. You know, and so it's like, man, I'm geeked because it's almost like, what is the word? We're able to duplicate ourselves, replicate ourselves. We're able to put our program in every school district in the country that will allow us to put it in. And then more importantly, you don't have to keep coming to us. It will empower you and you won't need us anymore. So, man, we've already used it in a couple schools, a couple school districts, and they're getting certified administrators, teachers. It's groundbreaking.
If I'm a teacher or administrator right now, or I'm a parent or a student, I'm like, I need this in my school. They can just reach out.
Yeah, etinspires.com is where you can go for everything. And then we're going to put a link up at the end where they can go actually buy the book, take the assessment, and get whatever training that they want. But yeah, man, it is. And that's what I want to do. Q, I'm going to be real. There are times that I do corporate work and I feel like I'm on cruise control. You know, it's like, yo, I know I'm about to go in there and kill a game. Why? I mean, personal development is who I am. It's what I eat, drink, sleep. You know, and with the assessment, like I know people, I can go in there and, you know, move the needle. But I'll be honest with you, man. Sometimes when I'm in the VIP, boy, you know, and everybody's talking, I'm just like, okay, what, you know, sometimes when, you know, we leave the VIP and then we got this other little meeting, you know, they got the happy hour. And I'm just like, when I'm in the schools, bro, I'm like, yeah. You feel like Superman, bro. I'm in the schools. I'm like, let me have it. I'm coming to school to speak. I see a kid coming and he getting it. Can I talk to you for a minute? You know what I'm saying? Boom. I see a kid come in with his mom crying. Mom, they don't understand. I'm like, Mom, can I speak to y'all too? Speak to him and his mom. Mom walk out like, bro. I was at a school recently. A mother called and said, yo, my son don't like speaking. He don't like school. I don't know who y'all had up there, but he came home and he was like, this dude, E.T. the hip hop preacher, and now I know what I want to do, and I'm ready. And she was just like, yo, I want to say thank you. So I'm good, maybe even great in corporate, NBA, NFL. Whoo! But I'm supernatural when you put me in the school system and you give me principals or school leaders or teachers or students or parents. Bro, I can come in there and change, no, not just inspire, but move the needle on the assessment, the standardized tests. I can move the needle on attendance. I can move the needle of engagement. I can move the needle on emotional and social intelligence. Like, you bring me into a school, I can get teachers who don't even want to be there a sense of purpose that they had when they were in college and revitalize them. Bro, the school, I just get talking about it. But school is, man, that's the place where I feel like God found me, where I found myself, where I found my gift, where I found my life. When I went to Oakwood, it's just like, not degrees, Q. We lead degrees. I'm talking about knowledge, education, and I can infuse kids with that, bro.
Yeah. I had an opportunity to go to a school with
that's
you.
right. We were in Cali.
A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, North High, I think it was. Yeah.
And just those students' engagement with you, and that wasn't your first time there, and being able to talk to some of the kids about, you know, the book and, you know, your influence on them in a short period of time. I said, man, I can only imagine what's going to happen and how this is going to spread like wildfire. What is your goal for your schools and for the book and for the assessment, let's say 5 years from now?
My goal, man, is to help every kid. You know, I call it identity versus role confusion from Erickson's theory. And I think that's what happens. Kids don't find out who they are early enough and get in gangs, get on drugs, you know, suicide. And all I want to do is, one, show them what their gifts are. And I brought you in because people like yourself who've already gone through that journey, I just want to unleash y'all to these kids. Like, it ain't even about E.T. I'm just like, yo, you know, I don't know how many of them want to be motivational speakers, but you saw how many of them in the room wanted to be entertainers. Yeah. And for them to sit with you, Q, somebody, you know, you know what I'm saying? You from there. Yeah. You from Philly. You from there. You've done the long hours. You've driven from Philly to New York back to Philly. You LA. Like, you interviewed the Meek Mills, Kanye West, Kevin Hart. Like, you've been at the bottom, bringing coffee, taking people to now, you know, you are that guy, your own show. So I just want to take people like you and it's like, yo, go back. Like, bump that. We like the middleman, like, bump that. Like, yo, we got to go back to our schools, NBA, NFL, entertainers, comics, singers, dancers, people like myself, motivational speakers, just people in general. We got to go back to our schools, bro. Like, it burns my heart that you will have stars. They never go back to their middle school. They never go back to their high school. They never go back to their elementary school. They never tell them the journey. And that's what I respect about Harriet Tubman, was that Harriet went back and said, yo, here's the path. That's all I want to do, bro. Yeah. I just want to let these kids know, here go the real path. That ain't the real path. They might tell you that's the path. That ain't the path, bro. That's the path to destruction. That's the path to dying early. That's the path to going to prison. That's the path of least resistance, but it's the most destructive. Hey, we at 21, 22, we got up, 25, we woke up and we went this way. Come follow us this way. And that's all I want to do. Why? Because I don't believe we're going to put nothing in them. Greatness is already in them. They're just in environments where that greatness is being suffocated. And so when Q comes to the school, E comes to the school, and we them. Yeah. Okay, I would tell my daughter, maybe with a little age, but whatever, wherever you've been or whatever you've done, we've been there, done that. And so I just want to go back and let them know, this is the way, y'all. Walk ye in it.
Yeah. You know, another thing that you talked about and you've preached so much this year, which is so important, is the DISC assessment. Yeah. I will tell you, you gave me the DISC assessment. I did not read it right away. And then when I went back and read it, I was blown away on how accurate it was. Yeah. You knew more because you read it. Absolutely. You knew more about me than me, and you told me about myself in 30 seconds. Yeah. Talk about the DISC assessment.
Mind blowing. Yeah. Mind blowing. I'm so grateful for this insatiable desire for knowledge, not degrees, but to know thyself, and then know others, know your community. So Chris Daniels, rest in peace, was one of my coaches 3 years ago, and he introduced me to the DISC assessment. And when he passed, I was just like, yo, I'm stuck. Like this guy was giving me, like you said, he was reading my mind. Yeah. And I was like, yo, E, you gotta go to the source. You gotta go get certified. You have to find out. When I got a hold of it, bro, I'm just gonna be real with you. To me, it's theory. When I got a hold of it, as you know, is when I was talking to you, I make this thing practical. You know what I'm saying? Like I've taught my coaches and I train people, to get certified now. And I'm showing them how to help you not to see numbers, but how to unlock your potential. I'm like, yo, Q, I'm geeked sitting here with you today because I'm going to be one of those individuals that will be able to say, not only you interviewed me and my life went to the next level as a result of this interview, but I want to be able to say in 5 years how I'm about to take your life to the next level by knowing you are an I and that's what I am, and knowing, yo, this ain't rocket science. There are a couple things that you need to do to be able to do what we do. And I'm like, yo, Q, you should be doing way more. Like, this is your lane right here. And you ain't even in the lane. And then when you in the lane, you're doing 65. I'm like, yo, I'm talking about turn this mother out, Q. Let's go. And so for me, the DISC has allowed me to be like Superman, which is why I call it a superpower, because now I got X-ray vision. Before I saw the world, I was one-dimensional. I saw the world from my eye. I saw it as a flight attendant. Now I can see the D, the I, the S, and the C. I can see the pilot, the flight attendant, the ground crew, air traffic control. And I can know how to talk to you, how to set an environment up for you. And that's why I love it for the schools, because it's like, if you're air traffic control, you're a high C, you're structured, you killing the D, the I, the S. You're killing them because they don't necessarily see the world the way you see the world, or either approach the world the way you approach the world. But if you would learn to teach them to their strength, we can take this thing to, so imagine me being in school and people say you talk too much. Q, I can't talk enough. Matter of fact, now I'm coming out of talking. Now they say, E, we want you to talk. We need you here. Now I'm like, E, you talk too much. Like you got to back up now and focus on one thing. So the assessment, man, has given me X-ray vision. It has allowed me to understand every human that I deal with, why they're wired the way they're wired, why they use the language they use, why they make the moves that they make. And so now it's not about me trying to make you do anything. It's understanding how you view the world, how you approach the world, and now tailor make the experience for you, which is why we're going to kill the schools. Because the D, I know how to teach them. I know how to, and I'm just being real. Me and my son used to get into it because I was like, before the test, because I'm like, yo, bro, you're a little disrespectful for me. Like, why are you talking to me like that? But as I studied, Jalen is a high D. He's a pilot. He got to be in the driver's seat. When he speaks matter of fact. I'm in my feelings. I'm like, why are you talking to me like that? He like talking to you like what? I'm just giving you the facts. And I'm like, I don't want the facts right now. I want you to respect that I'm your father. You feel me? But we created a language for me understanding Jalen. Yeah. And now it's like, oh, Boom just need his own department. And he just need to be in control. He don't need me telling him what to do no more. He doesn't need a father right now as a D. He needs a coach. He needs a facilitator. Get out the boy's way. And so now he's training corporate. Now he's got NFL and NBA clients. Now he's calling me like, yo, Dad, I read the book Triggers. And he's showing me on the whiteboard all of the theory that he's designed and how he's implementing that theory in his practice. And I'm like, what? It was only because I was trying to treat him like he was me, a flight attendant, and it was about the experience, and he was. He like, I just need to know how much money can I make. I just need to know what my lanes are, and I'm ready to go. So it's changed my marriage. It's changed my life. It's changed how I interact. Bro, I just remember when we used to talk before, it was just more entrepreneurial.
Yeah.
You know, and that was an occasional entrepreneurial. It was kind of like, E, what you doing? Q, what you doing? What can we do together? Now I'm like, yo, Q, this your whole world, bro.
Yeah.
And I'm about to personally, that's why I got to get off the road, because I did so much macro that I wasn't able to be effective micro. Now what I realize is if I leave the macro alone and pour into the micro gonna kill the macro. Like I don't have to be all over the place no more. Now, by me focusing on Q and assisting you in your development, you gonna take over the world. And I'll be able to sit back and go, I know I ain't his only coach, but I had a little something to do with the development from this point to this point. So the assessment, man, has just given me a clarity and a focus that I didn't have 3-4 years ago in my not in the last 3 years, but 3-4 years prior to. I didn't have this command with my craft.
Yeah, I can see how the disc has changed you. Just very clear, very the last meeting we had blew me away because when I think you understood me and you are kind of similar.
We're the same.
But you broke me down in a way. I was like, man, this dude. I guess that disc is really
Give me
working.
your palm.
Exactly. What's the age? What's the youngest age a child can take a disc?
It varies because you could have an 8-year-old that's pretty sound in language, and that's really what the disc is. It's really about words. So if they can understand the words that we are presenting to them and put those in an order, then we're able to say, okay, this is what your priority is. That's all it is. It's these words that allow us to understand what's valuable to you, what's important. So all we're really doing is giving you the same series or sequence of words at different times and like just repetitive so that we can see like really what is important to you. So if you're 8 years old and you're real good with the English language, you're 9 years old, you can do it. But I'd say easily 10 years old, you should be able to, middle school age, 5th grade, 4th grade, 5th grade, you should have no problems. But there are, again, among us, some kids who are 3rd graders, 2nd graders, 3rd graders who have a real mastery of the English language, and they will get it with no problem.
Got it. You are about to enter into what you really want to do. There are people out there right now, like the things that you did for money, you still help people out.
Yeah.
But how can I get to doing what I really want to do? Like how do I take those steps?
I mean, I hate to say this, bro. It's like, he's selling. I'm not. This. Like, you got to go to etinspires.com, extreme execution. Take the assessment. That's why we call it extreme execution, because you're going to be executing in every area of your life at an extreme level. We know what happens when you are able to operate at a Michael Jordan level. That's extreme. Kobe Bryant, that's extreme. LeBron James, that Oprah Winfrey, like that's extreme. Kevin Hart, that's extreme. When you're able to do it at that extreme level, Steve Harvey, at that extreme level, there are doors that are open for you and life just looks different. So you take that test, 15 minutes. And like you said, in 30 seconds, I can, you know what I'm saying? 30 seconds can get you on the path of, okay, I can do all of this. But like I just said, you said it. Bruh, I've been literally operating in a lane and I've done a real good job. According to the internet, some sources say I'm number 1 in the world. Watch what happens when I get in the perfect environment. So I've been like the perfect gift, the perfect energy, the perfect focus, but I've been in an environment that's not the perfect environment. Now that I'm about to get in the perfect environment, boom. Yeah.
How can the NFL players that you touch, the NBA players, the celebrities, the people that you've motivated throughout the years, how can they support through this new journey that you're going on?
First, let me just say with their influence, you might have a kid, of course, Deshaun Watson, relationship, Cam Newton. Matter of fact, I met Deshaun Watson through Cam Newton, individuals like that who, first and foremost, just, whenever I see them or, whatever, they're like, yo, thank you. You know what I'm saying? So much respect for those guys who have reached an extreme level, but still, show me that love. But their influence, whatever colleges they went to, high schools, middle schools, making that phone call like, yo, need to get into schools. Unbelievable support is when they have time to actually go to a school with me, like you did. Like those kids, they start following you on, Instagram, and so for me, if you have an opportunity to actually physically be present, a lot of times people just think money. No, your presence is much more wanted than your money. And so I would say, even if it's their school, I remember Devin Steele. Devin went to Penn State, so I worked with Dev when he was at Penn State. We actually went to his school in Delaware, and like literally went to Howard, like went to his school, me and him together speaking. So I'd say, and I'll never forget when Cam Newton came to, he's from Camp Creek. He came to our event in Camp Creek. The kids just was like, so just your presence, NBA, NFL, I don't care if you're corporate CEOs, VP of whatever. Our presence means so much to these kids because a lot of them, fathers want in their lives, moms want in their lives. So just the fact that you show up mean a lot. And then, of course, if you want to sponsor a school, that would be phenomenal. And again, you can go to, etinspires.com to find our school day site and go and sponsor. But if you can sponsor, and we'll put all that information up, but if you can go to School Days, Foundation and sponsor a school, that would be, incredible. And that wouldn't put the school in a situation where they have to sell stuff to get me there, but they could pay for the books, the assessment, the training. I mean, that would be phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, again, I can't say this enough. The disc, I can only imagine if 12-year-old Q had the disc, where my life would have been years later, because it gives you an understanding. It makes you and lets you know what your superpower is. Can you touch on the school tour that you're doing? That's coming up.
Well, first we're doing You Ain't the Boss of Me, which is the name of the book, and I named it that because I just remember after finding out, man, what I found out going to school, I used to tell teachers all the time, you ain't my daddy. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell me what to do. And so I'm telling kids, yeah, you're right. They ain't the boss of you, but if you're not the boss of you, they're gonna have to be the boss of you. And so we're going to start this tour in Atlanta, Martin Luther King Day. I'm super excited to start in Atlanta on Dr. Martin Luther King's birthday. I know he would be proud of the work that we're doing because education was important to him as well as it was everybody that was in the civil rights movement. And so we start there. It's free. So we'll be doing one, I think, Cleveland, Chicago, Houston. Like, we're going to be all over the world. Doing You Ain't the Boss of Me conferences for free, where kids will get an opportunity to meet kids who've read the book, who are now certified extreme ET kids, and they can actually teach the assessment in the way we teach it. They're going to watch them do skits and presentations. The books will be there. They'll get to take the assessment, the whole nine. So they can go, again, ET Inspires and look on our website for those dates. You want to be there. If you have a child, especially, listen to me very closely. Bring it in, because I need you to hear me. For an investment of just $99, if your child is disruptive, if your child, is super just disobedient, like you don't know who your child is. Like you at a point where like, I don't know who this is. I didn't raise this child. Listen to me, for an investment of $99. They read the book, they take the test, they get a coach. I promise you, we could change their life or your money back. Now, my legal team, like, hey, why you be saying your money back? Because I'm not doing this for money. $99 is nothing. And it's not a $99 and then a recurring $99. $99. Read the book, which kids are, ready? Kids they're saying they're reading the book 10, 15 minutes, taking the test in 10, 15 minutes. You're talking about 30 minutes changing your child's life in 30 minutes for $99. So I'm pleading with you. You've gotten to the end of your rope. You don't have any more parenting skills. You've done counseling. You've done everything you could possibly do. And you like, it's not enough. I promise you, this book, this assessment, our coaches, I promise they're going to turn that whole thing around.
Wow.
Yeah, they're going to turn it all around for you.
Well, E, I'm excited about the new mission.
No question. I'm excited about being on the road with you, bro.
Yeah.
What we did in Philly was good, the Verified Conference.
Yes.
Phenomenal. I mean, that was great. I got a chance to meet for the first time Karen Civil. And I just can't wait to put people like Karen Civil in front of these kids, people who have from the bottom learned this stuff on their own, whatever, people like Toby that was there, Willie Moore Jr., people who come from where they come from, who've had the same challenges that they've had, to give them this rich content. I can't wait to be on the road with you, man, your family. I can't wait to pour into your sons. Like, I know they see me on videos, but to be able to like chill with Uncle E. And I tell people all the time, bro, you can't retire from fathering, and my kid's grown now and I got some love to give. They doing their thing, so I'm just looking forward to this conference, looking forward to being on the road with you guys. You've traveled before, it's not just the mission itself, but even the moments, the pictures, the going out to eat, the talking, the chopping it up, to reminiscing. Every time I see you, I remember not knowing you and calling you to wish you a happy birthday. I didn't even know who you were. And to think now that phone call of saying happy birthday had turned into a relationship is unbelievable. And not just a relationship, a mutual where you're sharpening me, I'm sharpening you. So I'm looking forward to 2020 and building with people and making the world a better place, man.
Yeah.
Lots going on right now. It's a lot of evil in our world. It's a very divided country right now. And I'm just so happy that we're a part of the solution and not a part of the problem.
No, definitely, man. It's all love. Listen, E, I appreciate the time.
Likewise, man.
It's going down this year.
Yeah, it is.
It's 2020 clear vision.
Meet me it's going down. I can't say the whole thing. Meet me in the church.
Church
going
is
down.
going down.
Meet me in the schools. It's
going down.
Yeah.
No doubt. Eric Thomas, man.